Hey, good morning, everybody. How's it going? I don't know if you know, but you will start to see things today that we are launching season 6 of my Old World finishing course. And today you are in for a treat because the most precious woman is sitting here to talk with me today. And her name is Kathy. And I want her to just tell her business name, where she's from, a little bit about herself real quick, because I think it's important that you know a little bit about her. So Kathy, tell everybody.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks for having me on today. My name is Kathy Croning, and my husband and I own a restoration and rejuvenation furniture group, a company called Broken Roads, and it's spelled with O-A-K, B-R-O-A-K-E-N, Broken Roads. We kind of named that after the fact that we've all been down a broken road or two, and we always wanted a second chance at life, so that's what we're trying to do with furniture. And I live in Kansas City. I've been here, for years and years and years, and all of our kids are grown and in college or out of college, and we're don't have anybody else at home, and so we decided we were not going to sit around and stare at each other and watch Netflix our entire lives. And so I wanted to do something for myself personally, and I'm also in recovery, and so I've been in recovery for 7 years, and so this was also part of my outlet before I found Amy Howard. So it just grew into something, it bloomed into something just so beautiful for me that has just been a God-given gift.
I apologize. It never fails when I get on here to do a live. Theo, I think he knows, and he just starts barking. So I apologize for that. But which I'm curious, and I thank you so much for sharing that, Kathy. And maybe somebody will walk by here to make me be quiet. But how did you originally find Amy Howard at Home? How did you find out about it?
So I bought an old chair and I wanted to repaint it, just something fun for our house. And I wasn't really sure what to do. And so I was looking on Facebook, and I found a young lady who was teaching about an hour class on painting and glazing. And her name is Tamara Hudson. And so everybody knows Tamara, that's in the before and after group, of course. And so I didn't know her. And so I went to her hour class, and she was zipping and running about as fast as you do, and taught me this newfound love. I got to even take home a sample of your paint. And then after that, it was game on for me. I bought some old chairs, and I found a table that somebody was giving away for free, and I flipped them for like 10 times what I bought them for at a garage sale of no less. And I turned around my husband, and I said, I think we can do this. This is exactly what I needed. Yeah. So it's been such a blessing, but Tamara was a big part of my catapulting into this environment, which has been such a gift.
Had you ever painted furniture or done anything like that prior to just learning how to paint and glaze?
No, I was just, maybe artsy when I was younger. And so but I didn't do a lot, on a daily basis. Even when I got into my older teens, I didn't. It was just like when I was a kid. So I didn't really realize that was something that I loved to do until I got back into it again. And then it's like the door just opened up and everything started clicking. So for people, I think, that have had something like that in their past, that they found that to be a joy, it's a great way to open that door back up. And it sure helped me.
We always go back to our first love. We always go back to that. And that is very life-giving when we think about it, because for me, I was a crafter. When I was a child and my mother introducing me, I loved doing things with my hands. And so did you. That took you back to when you were a child and what brought you great joy. And so we all know this is part of what we talk about, but your giftings and your passions are your purpose. And so those of you that are watching, I don't know if you heard Kathy say, but she's actually working full time. She has another year plus before she retires. 2 years?
2 years, a little over 2 years.
But she is painting furniture on the side. And so What would you say, as far as in the old world finishing course? And before you took the old world finishing course, before you came to Memphis, because I will say this, Kathy has been to Memphis, and I'm gonna
Yes.
ask her about that in just a minute.
Ugh.
How do you feel? What did it do? Compare your finishes before the old world finishing course and coming to Memphis, and then after.
So just for the scope of finishes themselves, I was super limited. Like I only knew paint and I knew how to glaze because I taught myself, right? But it wasn't the same kind of glazing that I learned from you. And so I was very limited, but I just kept doing what I was doing. And it had been a little over 2 years before that I had been doing that before I actually took your class. So very little, very little. I
So
didn't know how to
now,
wax.
when you look at what you've learned
Mm-hmm.
from the old world finishing course now, and you're able to compare what you did prior,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is the difference?
Oh my goodness. My creativity level has skyrocketed. Like I know things now that I didn't understand before. There are finishes I didn't even know existed, which was really good. I know I'm trying to hold back on talking about that class because I just want to bust everything out right now, but I I feel like I am so much more creative than I was before, and I'm willing to take chances that I wasn't willing to take before.
That's good.
Yeah, I got out of my box, and so that gave me some confidence I didn't have before that class.
You know, that box that you talk about, we all struggle with. That box is labeled fear. That box has a name, and it's called fear. And there's something about the mentoring process, I believe. You could even equate it to discipleship or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, just as far as taking your hand and walking with you and saying, let me show you what all you can do. And there's so much creativity out of that box that can really take your finishes to another level. What would you say in the old world finishing course? What was your favorite finish to learn, Kathy?
Oh, cracked patina.
Really?
Yes, I loved that. So I didn't know you could do
That's so
that.
funny. Everybody, it's so I find it so interesting where everybody's at. But you like, so you're a grody girl.
I am. And I mean, I like very traditional finishes. Like I like a glazed kind of simple finish too, but if I get a piece that's already struggling to be messy, I'm just going to go for the cracked patina because that to me just allows me to pull paint and I can use my hands, which I love to use my hands. I don't have to use a brush. And I do specifically remember being in that class and I was trying to do this pulling with the brush and you came over and you took your hand and you just grabbed my piece. You just started doing this on it. You're like, I said, oh, so I took that home. It's like sitting on my wall and I'm thinking, Amy did that. Amy's hand crafted this for me. So yeah, it's like, and now I do it like that ever since. So that's my favorite.
I I told the last season of the Old World Finishing Group, and they were like, can we please come to Memphis? Can we please have an in-person class? And I will say there is something about being in person and that connecting. We are created to be relational and to be able to all be in here and to be able to touch hands and that tribe of people, even though we have a virtual tribe. And I will be the first one to say it on here, and I'm going to get in trouble. And Marty's going to go, why do you do stuff like this? But I have literally been praying for months about having an in-person class, and I decided a few days ago that we are going to be having an in-person class again.
That's amazing.
So I so look forward to that. But okay, what also? I've got my questions down here that I want to make sure that I ask you. So we know that your favorite finish to learn was cracked patina in the course, and you're a grody girl. Love that. What would you say is a finish that you execute now after the Old World Finishing Group that you're kind of like, I can't believe I can do that. Like, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Gesso, cracked gesso. I didn't even know what that was. I actually bought a package of it and I just kept staring at it like, I don't even know what to do before I took your class. And so, but even with that, I had to come back and keep working it, like to really understand it. And the super big cracks and all that funky stuff. And then also the gilding with a sterling silver and then antiquing that. Those were things I didn't know I could do, and I felt really intimidated by. So yeah, those are really cool.
Being able to acid etch leaf that is not a compositional leaf, that actually has like sterling silver in it. It does. I mean, a little dab will do you. I just kind of tell people it's about that strategic differentiator that can really take your furniture to the next level. I love that. So currently, how are you taking your finishes and what you've learned in the Old World Finishing course? How are you segueing that into a business? Like, tell us, like, how many pieces of furniture do you paint a week? And is the majority of what you're doing, is it painting for customers? Is it rescuing pieces that that you have found that you're reselling?
Okay, so I had mentioned this before we came on, but I just want to share with folks that I love this so much that I remember when I first started, my husband was watching me do this painting. He was looking at my tops and he was thinking, well, I can help you with the tops too. And I remember my first thought was, this is my thing, get out of my thing. And now I'm like,
Get out of
so,
my
right. Yeah. I was like, this is my place. But now I look at it and I'm like, he's such a joy to have him be a part of this process with me. So that has been huge. And because of that, we lived in a brand new house. We lived in a nice area. I was on a golf course, and we sold our house. And we bought an old farm just because it had outbuildings where I could have a studio. And so there's like all these things, that we might have to do. Like, it's an older home, right? Not a big deal, because it's worth what we have. And I get this creativity in here. And like this area behind me, this wall is pine. I just used all of your products to make it look like a wood wall. And we have everything in here just reflects Amy Howard products. I have an entire wall of Italian silver. My ceiling is, ballet white washed, and it's just wonderful. So we are expanding, and we're building a studio so that my client base can expand. We have a place for people to come, because I think sometimes people were a little bit intimidated, like, oh, you do that out of your home? Like, I was painting in the living room. I was probably averaging, 4 pieces a week. And this is like after a full-time job. So I get off work at, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, 2:30, depends on the day, in the afternoon. And then we'd work 6-7 hours, and then the weekends. So it's just like all the time. And I'm learning a balance now where I don't do that quite as much. I start to limit myself a little bit. But out here now, we separate it because they have the shop. And so it's a place where people can come in and be creative and see finishes, see what what we do, sit down, talk about colors. I have my little sample color chart guide, we talk about that, or big pieces. I'm getting ready to hang some stuff on the wall that's going to show those. And so opening the studio is huge for me, because I bought a URL 2 years ago and haven't done anything with my website, because I don't want to expand beyond what I can handle, until I'm in a place where that's manageable. And then also, I've allowed myself to expand finishes. And I would say it's probably, during COVID, it was probably about 70-30 clients wanting something done versus 30% the things that we find, because they get in their homes and they get tired of something they wanted to change. I've done entire bedroom sets, dining room set, things like just huge projects that take a long time because of that. So I'm learning from all of that work. We're about 6 to 8 weeks out for anyone to be expected to even be brought on. That is huge for me. It used to be, yeah, we're open, bring it on by. And now it's like, no, we need to set a date to even do a pickup, because I've got so much going on. So it's just exploding. And I'm so happy that I feel more confidence. And that came from the class and just working things over time.
You can't see. I have chill bumps.
Oh, thank you.
Knowing,
Awesome.
and I just am so grateful that this was your heart and this is what you wanted to do, and how the Lord is literally like your home, and now with your studio and everything that you've got. And that's just so sweet. And to be able to have your studio where you crank the music up and you're able to go in there and paint and create that environment. And then hopefully now walk into your living room and the painting is in another area.
It is.
So, because we do need balance of life.
Mhm.
I'm just so proud. Which I am curious, what is the percentage of your business from painting furniture and rescuing a piece of furniture and selling it yourself? Custom work versus...
Let's see. Right now, I would say it's probably averaging out to be about 60-40,
Okay.
60 being customers, 40 being our own.
A really good balance.
Yeah, I like that. The only downside to customer base for me, and this is just something I have to get over, is that I am not allowed to just be as crazy creative as I want. You know, if I see a piece, so we'll find stuff because Scott's constantly looking for furniture all the time. He's like pulling things up. We have another shop shed that he has a back room that's storage. We didn't have that before. We were doing everything in our garage and it was piled high. So back there, if I want something to do and I'm between clients, I just go find something and bring it in and let's just get working on it. And then I can be as creative as I want. So that gives me that liberty to do those things where I also can do things that the client's expectations are met at within their frame that they want. So yeah, so it's a good balance.
I love that. Kathy, what would you say to anyone that is thinking about taking the Old World finishing course now?
Fear is a liar. And it will change you. It changed me. I think if you hesitate, you won't do it. I feel like if you have that little spark in your mind, or you wake up at 3 a.m. or you're up early in the morning and you think about that class, to me, that's like the Holy Spirit saying, there's something I want you to learn. And it's not always about, I've said this before, but it's not always about the paint. It's not always about the finishes. It's bigger than that. Like going to Memphis, I'm so glad that you said that you're considering having that class again. Like I'm getting teary-eyed right now because that was amazing to me. Like that's ingrained in me. It's given me this like foundation for what I want to do and what I know. It's like I go back to that class, my notebook. Oh my gosh, whoever takes this class, whether it's online or in person, please bring a notebook and just write everything down and listen and don't be afraid. And I feel like if you take the chance and you really are doing things purposefully and you're doing, like you said, you're using your talents and your gifts the way that God intended you to, it will bloom and grow and you will not regret it. It's been incredible for me.
You know, you are a perfect example of I believe, the beautiful tribe that we have, that everybody truly cares for one another. And that comes back. It's helping one another and seeing the different areas and venues in which people take the knowledge from the Old World finishing course and then grow it into their own area of specific finishes that they like, which you're our grody girl. So you like specializing in that grody textural type finish. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your willingness to get on here and speak. Thank you for sharing your story. And I think we need to do a virtual tour of your house sometime in your studio.
Yes,
I think that would be a lot of fun.
I would love that. I can't wait. That's fantastic.
So guys, if you are considering, you wanted to up your game, you want to learn more, you are ready to go to the next level, and you do not have to have any experience. This is zero. We're going to take you from A and bring you in at A and take you to Z. And as you heard the story about Kathy this morning and her business Broken Roads, you can be working full time and then you can still have a business on the side, because that really, I believe, is what's feeding her creativity. And it's what's allowing her to be able to build and have something when she retires that she can do full time and enjoy working with her husband, as I do with mine. So do not delay. You know, these seasons open and close, and all during the time afterwards are like, wait, I thought I could join anytime. No, you can't. So this is season 6. It opens and then it's going to close, and you cannot join in, because I will be mentoring and working that group of people through. So you want to take this opportunity and join our tribe. Have a great day, Kathy. Thank you,
Thanks, you too,
girl.
Amy. Thanks for your time.